So as many of you may or may not know, the Chinese Room, the developers of Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, have been asking fans to record themselves screaming, dying horribly, etc., which I have done, fingers crossed. Now on the 31st of October, Steam News submitted a piece from PC Gamer that quoted the Chinese Room's Dan Pinchbeck saying, "What we really need are some screams. We want fans to record themselves screaming, puking and freaking out. Tape it all, send it through to us, and we'll sift through it, and the best stuff will end up going into a background mix for one of the levels." Now the key phrase here is one of the levels. So my first idea is of the level itself that the sounds are being used for. As the sounds are being used for one particular part of the game, they can't be used as indicators of sanity level, otherwise they would be used throughout the game. Now I reckon that these screams of death, anguish and torture, etc. have something to do with the machine itself. Because of the nature of the sounds, it's reasonable to say that people are being fed to this machine. Another quote from Pinchbeck that backs this idea is, "We've just taken delivery of a couple of what have been codenamed civilians at the moment." Maybe those are the machine's victims.
My dear Mr. Mandus, I admire your vision, I truly do. But there are surely not enough pigs in the whole of London to feed the appetite of such a machine.
That all rather depends, Professor, on what one considers to be a pig.
This brings two more ideas to light. The word pigs is clearly a play on words, as is made obvious by Oswald Manders himself in response to the Professor. Now in my eyes, as the game is set in 1899, this could mean the pigs of the streets, the poor, dirty street urchins, so called pigs by the wealthy as they wallow in their own filth and are considered disgusting, etc. On the other hand, it could mean the rich themselves, as they are pigs, because they are greedy for wealth and power. However, this seems unlikely, as the two discussing the machine sound as though they are upper class, as they are well spoken, and Mandus is of course said to be a wealthy industrialist. It seems more likely that the machine uses pigs to produce some sort of profit for its upper ruling class creators, but now they've run out of real pigs and are using the pigs on the streets, whom no one will miss nor cares about, to fuel the machine. So in this sense, the machine really is for pigs, as it uses pigs, actual pigs and those living in poverty on the streets, to provide some sort of profit for the other pigs, the greedy, wealthy upper class. Then again, due to the nature of the conversation between the two men, the machine could be being used for good in some way. Perhaps to feed the poor by mass-producing some sort of meat very effectively. Bacon. But how does Oswald Manders, the character who we play as, fit into all this? It is certainly possible that he is the creator of the machine, as he is addressed in the trailer. Note how the Professor says, "I admire your vision."
My dear Mr. Mandus, I admire your vision, I truly do.
We are told on aamfp.com that Mandus has recently returned from a disastrous trip to Mexico, and this provides us with two possible things. Firstly, it provides a reason for the existence of the monster breaking down the door in the first teaser trailer. This could be an hallucination brought on by the fever Oswald has recently suffered. Or perhaps the machine was designed as some sort of portal to another world, similar to the first game. This could mean that the machine has either brought a monster back from another world, or, more likely, accidentally fused man and pig together, and this monstrous creation is now seeking vengeance on the maker of such a horrible machine, destroying everyone and everything in its path. This hand appears to be half human, half pig, and this would back up this idea. The second thing this provides is an answer to whom the child is we can see in the Halloween teaser trailer. Assuming this is a child, we could argue it is Oswald's dead son, which is why he is haunted by it. Daddy. Perhaps the boy was, possibly accidentally, fed to the machine, or saw the machine being used, traumatizing and disturbing him so much he eventually took his own life. However, the far more likely suggestion is that the boy accompanied his father on the disastrous expedition to Mexico and died, perhaps because of the same fever Oswald survived, causing the trip to have ended in tragedy. In any case, the amount of guilt and grief Oswald will have felt, combined with the fever, may have been enough to severely affect his mental health, causing him to hallucinate both his son, as well as the monster, and of course, his amnesia. A final thing we must consider is the absolutely fantastic villain Pinchbeck mentions. Perhaps this is someone who wishes to use the machine for their own selfish and corrupt gain. This is a possibility, as Pinchbeck also says that, by catapulting the game into the industrial period, instead of magicians, we have the early capitalists and empire builders. What would they make of this supernatural stuff if they got their hands on it? I hope I've made my ideas clear, and thank you very much for watching. Please make sure to leave a comment if you have any ideas, thoughts, questions, or observations yourself.